Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 10 and 11 of Flip Flappers. Very excited to be returning here on the Flip Flappers journey. This here should be the penultimate episode of the reaction series, so yeah, look forward to it I guess. We're closing in on the ending. I wonder what we're gonna say there. There's still many mysteries to be uncovered as I continue to pontificate every week about. I will continue to pontificate on my lonesome as well, for no YouTube comments are there, which is a little bit sad, but again, we'll just move forward with a little bit of a summary of the events thus far and what we can expect, I guess, going forward. Like, hey, Yayika's joined us finally. Episodes 8 and 9 last week were mostly about her, I would say, and her little journey and what she values and where she belongs, that kind of stuff, right? So again, she found some semblance of belonging within this group. It gave her an organization to be a part of. It gave her purpose. And again, once this purpose is taken away, once we find out that this organization finds her disposable, where are we going to go from there? Again, how does this attach into the whole Kokona thing? It seems like Kokona is the goal of a lot of this for, like, it seems she's vitally important. Whatever she's doing is going to have a tangible effect on the plans of either party. And again, she didn't know that, we didn't know that, and now we're learning that all at the same time. That including this Mimi stuff. What does Mimi mean in all of this? What was that small flashback we saw in the end of episode 7? I want to say, something like that. What did that mean? This kind of flash and this woman holding a child? Don't know. We're going to figure it out, I guess. I'm going to make the same prediction that I made last week about the episodes. I think, again, one of these episodes, it's time for something to get serious. A big flashback episode a la Madoka, a la Evangelion, a la a lot of these other shows. I think something like that is in the cards for sure. Will this make it all make sense, or will it confuse me further? Time will tell, I guess. But forget any of that. Before anything else, we need to shout out the patrons. So let me get that list up here. I've finally remembered to say this on the right week as well. I should say this right now. If next week is the last episode of Flip Flappers, that probably means I have a poll up somewhere. If you are a Patreon subscriber, you get double votes in that poll. Again, that's me a week from now. I have no idea what's going to be on it, but if you know, look at the channel and have a look there and see what's there, and if you like it and stuff, maybe Patreon and then you can get double votes. I don't know, something like that. I'm a bad shill person, I guess. Either way, many people have joined the Patreon regardless, such as Mickey Babbers, Strauss++, Akomancer, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ichu, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Ika, Iria, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Kelvin, Clem, Noster, Cont Begemot, Lasher840, Lou, Master Detective, Max, Mistake El Chen, Mr. Maniacs, Need, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ron Lad BNK, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Voiko, Without a Net, Yuan Kai Shu, Yuki Ali, Zach, Binchy, Hans Peter, Marsh, Voodoo Chili, Ice, Nico Lane, and Ran Tiki. Thank you all for giving me money and so forth. Again, let's just jump in here. Discord if you want to talk to me about the show, the aforementioned Patreon, and you should like the video. I'll bomb your house right now. So yeah, let's dive into episode 10 of Flip Flappers. That sounds correct. Let's go and do that now. Rightio, episode 10 of Flip Flappers up. They're ready to go. 23 minutes and 40 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I'm using the Zang file set, but either way, there will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure if you want it. So yeah, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Spiral Staircase. Papika. Fragment. Amorphous. Facial injury? Did you get slapped? Oh, she's cool. Metal Gear. I don't think he's going to listen. Solto-san is funny. Okay, no, okay, sure. She's almost awake regardless. Okay, there's this little frig. Annoying, I can already tell. You just say nya? I didn't like that. Oh, really? Okay. So now Yayaka's important. Man, it's almost like they're uncaring or something. Voice is almost similar to Paprika as well. Weird. Alright, you're a weirdo. Paprika's in prison. She's clearly asleep. Okay, so the facial injuries might just be from episode 9. Fair enough, because Kokona has something on her face as well. They did kind of get beat up. Pretty bad. It seems like we're going to do... Here's the thing. I think all the character designs of the main characters, at least the ones in this opening, are too good for them not to join the good guys eventually, if that makes any sense. Again, maybe that doesn't make any sense, because there's lots of well-designed villains, but it seems like we're setting up a face turn for the twins as well. Because again, what's something we know about the twins? They care for each other. So if, you know, the bad guys start disregarding them, then, you know, the other twin's gonna get mad. Makes sense. I just think the show has gone a long time without saying what anybody is even trying to do. We're trying to, like, change the world through pure illusion, seems like. World domination, I guess they said. Liberation was a word that the bad guy just used as well, which sounds like the opposite of what we're trying to do, but I digress. Oh, we're back in the dream. I wonder... I'm Mimi. Yeah, thought it may have been the case. Also, she looks a lot like you. Thoughts? They're so funny. She was very happy to see Paprika there until she said Mimi. You still forget? Oh, the love triangle is crazy. Just remember harder. Okay, no, you'd remember, you just don't want to say. You're a freak. I seriously hate that robot. Okay, we're back home. Weird. Oh, no we're not. You're a robot anyway, so it doesn't matter. I feel sorry for Yuku's skill. Is Bro getting fed? Hopefully. We're drilling through the ground? It's that one meme about the diamonds? Yeah, talk to me. Okay. Again, because you two in that flashback. The flowers, too, from last episode. She's so Metal Gear right now. It's crazy. It's not a good vase, is it? You're clearly not. You protected me. Yeah. We still doing the tsundere thing, even now? Jail time. Well, created, you say? Thoughts? Coconut? Pretty classic stuff. Mm-hmm. It's pretty powerful. Same difference, kinda. Yeah. Look at that evil guy puppeting the earth. Okay, you got used. Pretty cool. Character development. Why is that robot moving? I don't think anybody's being straight here. There was a bomb? Oh. It's like we knew this would happen. That's funny. Is it because we've got the last few fragments? So we know there's none left out in the world. So now they have to steal ours to get them all. Ow. Is he wearing a hairnet? Is it because he's like gauzed up his wound or whatever? Needs to protect it? Sure. What is this Crash Bandicoot shit? Oh, that's funny. Murder them all. But Yayaka, about that really important thing that seemed, pertinent. You should tell me that. Oh yeah, of course, you have a fragment too. So they're going to steal Kokona. Fragment. Well, yeah, pretty clearly. I thought she even knew that. I guess she never saw her thigh like, you know. Yeah, but my thing is, why is it there? Papikana? She's here. I'll hold them off. Classic. See, chat, it's a metaphor. Sucks to be Kokona with all these revelations and the Mimi business. Is she trying to fail? Just say the connection. Okay. So Papika was here as well. Mimi's gonna kill you. I mean, that's just Kokona. Oh, salt. It's clearly just salt. Gotcha. So I'm putting the timeline together now. But how does Papika make sense then? How is she eternally youthful? Or is it like a Peter Pan type situation? Yes, hello. Your name's weird too. You've all got that double syllable thing going on. So how don't they ever return? What happened? As you do. I just chill in the ball pit naked. Like a deviant. Your name's literally Salt. Yeah, I literally like saw her before. I think he wanted more than be her friend. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Damn, that's crazy. So my thing is, when did these fucking guys start wearing weird robes? Bring me flowers. Oh no, break her out? That's crazy. You shouldn't break her out. Blush? Little bit. What? The military are here. They're going to shoot us down. See, you clearly love carrots. Coconut. What? Oh, cute. Oh, the reflection there is really weird. What? Okay. And then we made the pure illusion happen. Yeah, okay. Make sure you can breathe. That'd be nice. Salt not invited. We're not bringing bro. Is it time for exposition? Aren't the robots, like, imminent? Papaka, you need to start with the ending. You need to explain how A relates to B. She likes me for me? Damn. Even Yayuka? I guess you found out that Yayuka betrayed you or whatever. Later. Ha! Okay. Goodbye. I don't think you are because the show's got another 3 episodes. But sure. I'll buy into it. Let me go back to Robo Grandma. That'll be fine. Creepy. Don't like it. Aren't you gonna scold me for being late? You look the same as normal. Robo Grandma. No way. She was also fake disabled. Sees her's crazy. Oh, the animation's cool. Looks like smiling Freds. Shit's crazy looking. Oh! I know what the fragment is now, too. That's cool. Keep your pants on, little bro. Okay, all the shards are going... Yeah, there. That's what I thought was happening. Nuke them all? Everyone cheer, Grandma's fucking dead. Let's go. Dead Grandma. Oh, she was a robot. Yo, I'm actually goated. Thoughts? Yeah, cool. Who the hell's Mimi? Yeah, I got it all figured out now. I was most of the way there with what I was thinking was happening. The only thing I was really missing, per se, was the fact that the fragments are the mother. Like, something like that. Like, if she's the only one that can access pure illusion and she can access it like that, that's why the fragments are so important, and she scattered all the fragments throughout pure illusion to try to hide the power, or... Again, I'm still missing the motivation there, but then from there, I'm pretty sure Salt is Kokina's father, which I think is something I've said in the past as well. Grandma was a robot, true. But my thing is, like, who's been... So they've just been keeping Kokina off to the side and made Yayaka keep tabs on her, knowing that they can just grab that fragment anytime. Or maybe it's, like, the most important fragment or something like that. But this organization has kept an eye on her basically the entire time. My thing's Papaka. How is Papaka not aged? Is there something in that? Or is she just like a really spry-looking 30-year-old? It's unclear. It'd be very anime if it's like, oh, this character that's clearly like 15 is actually 30. Very anime sentiment. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong there on some stuff. We'll see. Oh yeah, next time on, so we're not doing that. Now I remember. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I really shouldn't have seen that frame. Maybe that's going to tell us some stuff, potentially. That looks like an older character design for Papaka. Either way, onwards and upwards with episode 11. I'll bring that one up shortly. Rightio, episode 11 of Flip Flappers up. They're ready to go. 23 minutes and 41 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. There'll be a picture-in-picture version in the description below using the Zang file set, but you can sync up with your own if you'd like to do that. Let's give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Papikana? Oh, so she turned into X-Men. She turned into fucking Phoenix or whatever. I don't think so. I think Kokina's ran away. Oh. It's my good friend Yuka's skill, though. What is it saying? Me neither. Oh, the villains. Oh, okay. You just woke up here? Oh, summer. Yeah, fuck 'em up, Mimi. Like, it seems like we're doing a little bit more of a, like Mimi's taken over type thing. Oh yeah, like protecting, her daughter almost. Murder them all. Oh, that actually looked fucking awesome. Yes. Vengeful mother. Use your power to fucking get a bunch of machine guns and kill them all. Eliminate the villains. Nah, enter fucking Blue Twin Tail. She's gonna do some shit. Take it over or whatever. Imprison her. It's some bullshit. I don't know, we'll see. She's clearly on one. She's clearly too powerful. So, we need to take her down a peg, otherwise the show won't be very interesting. Yeah. I'm just trying to put it all together. Again, it makes sense. We've broadly set up a lot of this stuff pretty well. Wait, if we're doing timeline stuff, how does Yayaka make sense at all? Because Yayaka was in there with Papika as well. Like in that same when she was in the ball pit naked, Yayaka was there, right? How does that make sense? Again, we'll let the show do its thing here. There's gonna be like there's some time shit happening, which I think I implied time loops very early. Blue head character from the intro. Thoughts? I like the plant powers too. It has thematic significance. The third child is so Evangelion, it's crazy. What did the robot just do? Murder. Kill. Sundered, that's a great word. Good. Murder. Kill. Die. Murder. Kill him. Yeah, but it's a head wound, buddy. You gotta settle down. I think they're all fucking dead. I think they all turned into plants. Interesting shot. Where's Bro going? Oh, I see. So now he knows about the Mimi business. What is that door? Oh, it's a Thomason. We're getting it. I hate that freak. The surfboard's cool. This is the most outrageous shot I've ever seen. Oh, yes. She's punished. Oh, yeah, these two have, New sucks. Okay. But you two have beef, for sure. There you go. That's what I thought was happening. Whoa. couldn't? Damn. Okay, explain the timing. Okay, you two freaks. In more ways than one. Just bully him. Okay, the goons are still here. You guys seen Evangelion? Anyway. Oh, adult paprika. Ew. Why is it called that? Oh yeah, don't go in the scary portals. I remember that. He turned crazy just like that. Because they poked around too much. No, I'm pretty sure he's having a breakdown. Okay. Did you not read the sign? What is Mimi? I just want the Evangelion soundtrack to start up. You know the one. Oh, is that the origins of the ankle bracelet too? That's funny. There's the kid. What was Mimi? I'm pretty sure she was pregnant. Oh, insane. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. But also, Paprika's got a really bad habit of not saying what she fucking means. Let's get to the pertinent information. Like, you gotta just get there quicker. I'm sure this will go well. I'm sure this will end great. Get lost in the moment. Okay, she got tased. Oh! Ankle bracelet. She's on parole. I hate this freak. Whoa. Okay. What does the apple mean, chat? Pop quiz. Sick. I think we made it out. Fuck, she loves those flowers. You guys seen Evangelion? Oh, great shot. What even is the red? What's the red? Yo, what the fuck? Murder them all. Okay, bye. Oh, and this is where that's from. Interesting. But you jumped in too. Papikana, no. The fuck is this? Stop saying the themes for me. I was going to talk about that. Mimi. Damn, Salt's fucking dead. He'll never do it. He will never do that. What? Is that blood rain? Yo. Just choose both. Okay. I thought it was going to be like a little girl shows up and ruins everything. But nah, but Coconuts just kind of gone mental. That's fair enough. We'll talk about the motivations there, why. What's up? Want to have a chat now? I know. No, I don't want that either. Papika, you need to explain to me why you look the way you do. It's important to me. Oh, very pretty. It's just like yours. Oh, pure illusion. I don't want to be just like you, Mom. Come on. No, Mum, you're being a little bit overbearing. Oh, it's a reference. No, Mum, you misunderstand the themes of the show. It's all about me making the decision. Not you. It's just a different thing of the same thing I had before. Snow in summer. Whoa, what the fuck? It's like bleeding into reality. We're just chilling now? What happened? We're just vibing. That's so funny. Also, how isn't Salt dead? Anyway. Oh, she's so cool. uh, oh. She's the only one that can fix this. What the fuck? Insert song goes crazy too. Look, she's ruining the world. Wait, this cunt's still here? Kill him! Okay, I think he died. I don't care about the world, I care about Kokona. Whoa! Confession. When the two people at the base of the lesbian love triangle saved the other one. Crazy stuff. That escalated quickly. Let's say that. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I have my misgivings about how it's being portrayed, but I understand why they're going the directions they're going thematically. I guess that's my summary. Yeah, well, let's do that again. It'd be an interesting one to talk about because it's not as visual as the other episodes, I would argue. There's a few bits here and there. It's more plot and it's more themes. So we'll center a lot of our discussion around that kind of stuff, I believe. Episodes 10 and 11 of Flip Flappers, before the recording session started, or before I started watching the episodes, I should say, I kind of said, this is go time. It's time for you to do some flashback episodes. It's time for you to make all this kind of make sense. And yeah, we got that in spades for sure. Let's start at the ending. Let's start with what's going on here big picture wise. I've said the show broadly thus far has been a conflict between science and art, broadly, right? That conflict has come to the fore here in a pretty obvious way. If you see a bunch of flowers overtaking a bunch of machinery, pretty important. What does that also symbolize? The conflict between both of Korkina's parents, right? The implication, I believe, is that Salt is Korkina's father, right? So he represents the sciencey side. He represents his father. He represents all that stuff that he couldn't escape from, right? The mother obviously represents the artsy side, right? Creative freedom, freedom of expression, running away, you know, all these things. Escape. Again, broadly pure illusion. So when we see this conflict in the show between Yayaka and Korkina and the rest, that is that conflict coming to the fore again, even now. And again, that's all really well done. And I think we're setting up to do a pretty smart thing as well, is to say that, hey, Mimi's idea of freedom isn't exactly Korkina's. Korkina is an individual person as well, combining traits from both her father's side and her mother's side to create the person she is here and now. Again, all this stuff in the show about Papika, I like you for you, you know? It's not because you remind me of Mimi and all this other stuff, right? It's because of the personality that you've created and the, you know, chemistry that we have together and all that kind of stuff. And again, we're setting up to a finale where Papika's going to be like, no, I like you for you, Korkina. I don't like you for Mimi. Mimi's her own person. I've made my kind of, you know, peace around her death and that kind of stuff. I don't need her back in any specific form. Makes perfect sense. Right. And again, the mother's abilities there being a microcosm of the same kind of restriction that all this other stuff early in the show represented, right? So Mum's idea of freedom, that's all well and good, but she's still thrusting that upon somebody else. She's thrusting that upon another human. Does that make any sense? Like, it's still just as restrictive as all this sciencey stuff, as her, you know, commitment to the schedule, as all the timing, as all the studying, as all that kind of stuff. It's just as restrictive, just with a different coat of paint. And again, the show coming to that realization and proving that through Papika and her understanding of Korkina as an individual person will be great. That sounds fantastic. Put a bow on it. In theory, that's a fantastic concept for a show, executed quite well. Sans all the Evangelion references. It's getting a little bit absurd, if I'm going to be honest. The problem is, I think it's all a bit too quick. So it's a pacing issue, right? It's not a theming issue. It's not a content issue. It's how content is being presented. They're doing too much too late. You know what I mean? I don't know how you do it, but you need to spread some of this information a little bit earlier, a little bit better. I don't know how. Maybe scattered flashbacks that concur with grabbing the fragments or something like that. That's just something I came up with on the top of my head. And again, this is personal opinion. You could see this and think it's fine. I just think, again, it's too much too late in the piece for it to sit super well with me. But even respecting what they're doing thematically, I would say. I'm not going to go as far as to say these 2 episodes were a slog as a result, but they definitely didn't flow as well as the previous episodes. Not bereft of humor, but close. And I think the humor is a big part of Flip Flappers as a show. Animation spectacle, we got a bit of that here and there, but less so than other episodes, I would say. Creative visual moments here and there for sure, but again, I'm watching Flip Flappers in a large part because of the pure illusion, right? And because of how interesting that concept is. If you're not taking me there consistently enough, but maybe it is go time, maybe that is unfair. I don't know, I'm conflicted, I'm torn on these episodes, I would say. Again, I just came out of them almost like out of breath. They're just, yeah. But it's the content's good. I see what they're doing though, and I think it's resonant. I don't know. Maybe, again, there's still a lot of confusion there too. I don't know. I'm sure you can see that I'm conflicted on it. And again, as a result, I don't think I have as much to talk about visually as I've said. Again, a lot of it will be centering around these themes that I've already discussed. I want to talk about how the kind of ice stuff kind of plays into it as well. Like, why is Korkina's pure illusion the one that she's the most comfortable with, this kind of icy place? Frozen in time? That would make sense. I want to freeze, almost like have my daughter as another version of me, thus freezing me in time, so to say. Again, we'll go into it. We'll go back through these episodes here. But yeah, I sound very negative, but I'm broadly very positive on it still. I wanted it to be amazing, but I think it's merely great. Would we classify this staircase here as a Thomason as well? So that's the other thing, right? Like, these Thomasons are very interesting as a kind of thematic device for the show. Like these structures that used to exist, right, that used to have purpose but now don't and are still merely used as art pieces. Connect that how you will to the relationship between Korkina and Mimi, I say. I think it's very, very interesting. Again, I long had theories behind Korkina being related to Salt. I probably didn't think it was father, but neither here nor there, I would say. The revelations here definitely recontextualize every single encounter between these two, because Salt knows who Korkina is, and again, I think his overall goal is collecting the Amorphous to get Mimi back in some way, right? Like, that's his overall goal. Where again, his father, who's like the head Pope guy, he wants her insofar as the power to dominate the world, so to say. But again, Salt is just kind of, he's plagued with guilt more than anything else. He's atoning for what he didn't do back in the day. So again, seeing Korkina is a representation of the loss of the love of my life, so to say. My biggest mistake, not realizing what Papika meant, right, back in the day, that's this representation. So again, whenever you speak, he is plagued with so many emotions that we didn't know up to this point. And again, watching the show and seeing the sunglasses, seeing him hiding these emotions and so forth, I think that's, yeah. His kind of character design progression is very, very interesting too. Kind of going through this, going from the kind of lab coat look to this look kind of covering his eyes. That's the most important part, right? I'm hiding my true feelings here, same way I was hiding my true feelings with Korkina back in the day, or true feelings with Mimi back in the day, excuse me. And again, he's a broken man. He's not as uptight as he used to be, right? He can't make that effort anymore. It's big divorced dad vibes. So again, when Korkina's asking this question here, can Yayaka stay? Can we take care of her? It's like a daughter asking a dad, and he can't say no to her, right? Because she reminds me of the mum, and there's that whole thing to it. So again, I don't like Yayaka because she's stealing my fucking fragments, but if my daughter's asking me this, then I kind of have to say yes. We still haven't really explained the clone children. I don't really know what that's about, but I guess they can do that, sure. Let's just say they can do that. They're doing various evil science everywhere else, just add cloning to the list, why not? I think it is a bold move. I'll say this is really good. I think taking out this evil organization through these 2 episodes has been quite interesting. Because again, these guys are like nothing. They're nothing. They're like the most evil, we want to dominate imagination type guys. Like, clearly the bad guys, not nearly as interesting as this Mimi stuff, I would say, so again, we're going a more interesting direction as a result. I just wish we could have got there quicker. That's all I'm saying. Again, here we see the twins discovering that they don't actually care about us at all and are just merely using us for our talents. again, remind you of anybody, this is what they were doing with Mimi back in the day. It's what led to the destruction of everything. So, their own folly laid bare once again. I'm very confused about this character too. It seems like she's just joined the good guys by the end of episode 11, which I think is very funny. Broadly being set up as a major villain, and then, no, she's just kind of fine. She's playing with the robot. I think this is a very important shot, and these eyes are quite striking, and immediately upon seeing the flashback stuff and seeing that kind of mad scientist guy, Salt's father, and these eyes, you're like, oh shit, okay, I know exactly what's going on, if it wasn't already obvious. Shall we talk about Paprika? I hate to cinema sins out, I really do. If you don't know what that means, it means to nitpick relentlessly on things that probably don't even matter because they're not actually important to the thematic stuff the show's trying to get at. But hey, if you were just more honest with Kokona early enough, we could have avoided a lot of pain, I would say. But again, would she have believed you? Would she have crashed out even harder? Who's to say? We'll never know. And I like how this goes to the nth degree in the flashback as well, you not telling Salt the crucial information quick enough that Mimi's pregnant, which could have, again, prevented a lot of things from happening. So this dream sequence has been a large setup through the rest of the show as well. This is pretty good foreshadowing, I would say. Again, my mind immediately went mother. I don't know why, but it did. But, yeah, she kind of turns here and actually reveals that it is Mimi Mimi is a part of me. Mimi is a part of me potentially laying dormant as well. Yeah, interesting. So again, backfill the show a little bit. The fragment in her thigh is Mimi, right? It's a part of her mother. So when Yayaka is trying to extract it, she's also trying to extract this part of Kokona's personality, so to say, as well, right? Like, I'm harvesting this for purpose, but I'm also harvesting this part of your psyche almost as well. So again, I think that works, and this kind of shining every time she accesses pure illusion makes a lot of sense. And once we learn that this is a power lying dormant as well, a power that can literally take over her entire body and personality, I think the visual language here starts to make a lot of sense as well. I think, yeah, very well done. I'm just even backfilling the episode now, or forward filling, I guess I should say. So upon finding out that her grandmother is fake, that this was all a setup, this and that, I never really had any true guardianship or anything like that, Mimi coming to the fore and providing that for her, and that being that kind of moment where it all awakens is pretty on point too. There's a very good build-up in this episode of Kokona constantly being disappointed by the people around her, I guess I should say, right? This Paprika one, again, I've gone through it, it's kind of frustrating. Just say who Mimi is. I don't care if you hurt her feelings, at least then you'd be honest with her and not send her into a downward spiral by which the rest of the conflict in the show will happen, but I digress. But I think this, in combination with the Yayaka reveal, in combination with the grandmother reveal, is enough to send her over the edge and activate this power. I think that's pretty well done. So again, I thought Paprika was kind of, like, still foggy about it all. Maybe she still is on some level, but if you knew, it would just make you sad. So I don't want to make my friends sad, so I'm not going to tell her the stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know if it sits right with me. But it's probably true for Paprika's character. She's never one to really confront sadness in a big way. She wants to just avoid it and keep having a good time. And again, ultimately, how sustainable is that? Probably not very, right? I think this is a good opportunity to do this as well. I want, in combination with the revelations in this episode, to go back and see the start of the show again. Because, like, Paprika, get back here, this one was another bust. What does that mean? Does it mean they think that they found... Okay, so is Salt trying to find Kokona? Is that the entire thing? Maybe. Like at the very start of the show. Because this person was a bust. We can't access pure illusion with them and gather the fragments. Are we just looking for blue-haired people? Is that all we're doing? That'd be kind of funny. So this one was a bust. This one didn't work. So I have to go out and find another Kokona. Or somebody who actually is Kokona, somebody that has that amorphous with them. Therefore, hey, we can access pure illusion. Salt wants to gather the fragments because he wants his dead wife back. I want to just give an overall shout out in the show for the kind of visual language of it and the tone and everything, conveying that the grandmother is a robot, to make that not a kind of out of nowhere revelation. I think that's good. If I'm predicting that kind of stuff, it means it's well written. I think a lot of times in fiction, people are obsessed with being surprised. This just works. It works on a thematic level. It was set up well. It pays off. Good job. Good job, everybody all around. It wasn't surprising, but that doesn't matter. It was well written, which is good. And again, I want to say, like, how did they do that? Is it so much of her facial expressions not changing? Is it the wheelchair? It just feels like she's hiding something constantly. Again, that wheelchair in of itself being that clash with art and science that I've seen in the rest of the show as well. The science hiding underneath, hiding that seedy underbelly, potentially. Yeah, good character design, good work, great job, everything. Thanks. Okay, so here's what I think has happened, because in episode 11, when that kind of final Mimi scene is happening where she's like exploding or whatever with her kid, fucking Paprika, right? Paprika jumps in too. So I think that's what's happened with this aging debacle. It's like almost averaged the ages of the child and... No, but that still wouldn't make sense because you're still aging, right? Weird. And maybe it brought you back to Korkina's age, so to say. Weird. So you didn't remember everything. It's kind of like this past life type situation. And again, upon collecting enough fragments, or maybe even specifically another fragment in particular, you then regain your memories. And I think that's what happened upon the end of episode 7, and that's what started connecting everything. So again, you've actually finally remembered your past life, and it's all kind of, hunky-dory now, and now Salt can talk to you on a level. Salt, you've become cold. Paprika, you haven't changed at all. Again, if only there was some happy medium between the two that we could achieve. Much like last week's episode, we have these flowers as a major motif for Youyou. I didn't really get much correspondence there regarding them, but they're still around. Again, you wanting to preserve that, and that connection to flowers in particular is pretty important, right? Again, that connection to your mother and that side of your personality, trying to use that to, again, move Youyou, who's broadly robotic, over to your side. Again, this side of art and flowers and nature and stuff, all that side of the equation. And again, Youyou's such an interesting character, right? Because, like, I just wish... I thought you knew the revelation already, that being Korkina, right? That you've been there since the jump, since the start. Because again, once you learn that you're involved with shady organization, and have done for a long time, surely it implies to you that your friendship isn't just, on a level. And again, it's the same side as Youyou, right? Just because it started out as a mission doesn't mean it kept a mission. You genuinely like this person, and I think you should understand that as well. I guess it's just like kind of the avalanche of everything on top of this reveal, right? Which makes you feel so very isolated. I think the implication here is the scientist freak has been kind of preparing all these kind of protective stuff for the base, like all night. I think that's why he's so jazzed up about it. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This kind of explains the children. I guess, again, I think they're trying to take over the world, and these amorphous power children that are under our control and under our beck and call would help in that regard, I guess. It's like having superheroes or supervillains to enforce your new regime. But again, my argument would be, once you have the power of pure illusion, can't you just make everybody your slave? I don't know how this shit works, man. Let's just say it's... they just did it for fun. Just, make some kids genetically for fun. Can somebody please explain the character ages? It's crazy to me. It's crazy. So how does Youyou make sense? I still don't understand that. Because again, am I wrong? So when do we see Paprika back in the day? Maybe I just made that up and saw a blonde character. Am I stupid? Because we go back here, and I'm like, oh yeah, Youyou's here. No, that's not Youyou. Never mind. I was confused, I think. Okay, so Youyou doesn't not make sense. Paprika's still the one that I'm kind of unsure about, but I think that involves itself with the experiment and the explosion later on. That's what okay. Again, I just thought this was Youyou. Alright, we're fine. I misunderstood something, we're good. So again, because you're specifically not an amorphous child and don't have the fragment like Korkina, right? You can't find these things on your own, you're just kind of flying solo. So again, you have the prowess, but you don't have that special je ne sais quoi that makes it all very easy. That's why you need to follow Paprika and Korkina, right? Maybe to do with Paprika's little tracking device as well, if you want to have any chance of actually finding the things. That and the amorphous children can find them too. I do enjoy this scene. It's cathartic seeing Youyou finally turn around and see the people that are actually controlling her and what they were trying to do. And again, a little bit of self-reflection here about, I thought I'd be, if it made the world a happier place, I thought I'd be happy enough giving up my personal choice in that matter. Which again ties thematically to what I think is going on with Korkina, right? Other people, adults specifically, making choices for us instead of us having that independence of choice. Again, you making this revelation, and then what happens to Korkina will probably thrust some dialogue in episodes 12 and 13, right? Where we're trying to trying to convince Mimi to let Kokona go, so to say. We see the robot shaking here. I think that's the drilling. So the bad guys are drilling into the base right now. I think that's what that's trying to indicate. And again, I think Yayaka here, I'm glad you're my friend, is what you say. I think you here are about to reveal what you're going to reveal before it gets revealed not on your terms, and then it turns into this big old, So again, that's why I think it feels a little bit forced. This whole thing, it feels a little bit forced, I guess. But if it's to get the characters to where they need to be, then I guess it's fine. I don't know. Again, I think a better show would rewrite this part somewhat to not make it so convenient that nobody just says what they mean to Kokona. Specifically here, we're drawing all of the mindless robots towards a Thomason area, by which a trap that kind of the doctors set up, right? Look at all these Thomasons, all these staircases and doors that go to nowhere, right? It's a trap for them because they fall for it. They think it has some kind of logical function in the world, but that logical function no longer exists. It's a big old pitfall. And again, a actual human could realize this and act accordingly. Not a robot. So again, it's going pretty well with all the robots, but the numbers start to overwhelm. We then see the twins have found Yayaka and Kokona respectively, and this is where they start to make the reveals and, Kokona starts to crash out, that kind of stuff, right? Again, I'm wondering how you guys fall into the equation in the finale. I wonder. I wonder if we'll take it out of, because it seems like we're going into pure illusion. Paprika and Yayaka, that's actually, their impotence was great, so they could actually enter pure illusion. Does that make any sense? Like, they both brought a fragment together. They both were on the same wavelength on that surfboard, so they were able to enter pure illusion. That's actually fantastic. So yeah, I think I wonder if that pure illusion is going to bleed into the real world, like it already has done. That way we get to involve all the characters in the conflict and not just Yayaka and Paprika. Because again, obviously you guys still have more to do is my point. So they bring up another thing here that I never really realized, which was you don't know that you have an amorphous in you, in your leg. I guess you never saw it shining up and never really questioned that mark on the inside of your thigh there, which I guess is fair enough. I just thought that she saw it. She saw it glow up and was like, oh, there must be an amorphous in there or something. So again, you finding out this and then finding out that Yayaka's only been placed next to you insofar as keeping an eye on that specific amorphous. Because again, you would imagine that the most powerful component of this is still placed within you. So again, that's why we're putting one person, your sole duty is to keep an eye on her. And again, that kind of lie-revealed betrayal story here for Yayaka as a result. But the betrayal here is palpable. Remember that one scene in the flashback where Kokona looks over to Grandma and is like, hey, I made a friend. That hits, I think. And before anybody has any time to explain anything, because again, you could just counter with like, oh, but, that relationship changed over time. That was the pretense for it to start with, but then it molded into something real. Oh my god. But again, Paprika kind of ruins everything by jumping in and saving the day. I think that's pretty clever, using like the pot plant with the flowers as a bit of a lasso. Again, thematically relevant. I've changed my tune, changed my weapon choice, that kind of stuff. But again, I think Paprika just forgot that these two are on bad terms, so it's like, no, let me go. What do you think you're doing? So Salt has given Paprika the mission to save Kokona and keep the fragments safe. You name drop Mimi here again, which is basically the worst thing that you could have done. So here Kokona continues to feel objectified, right? If my friendship with Yayaka was broadly based on this fragment of Mimi that's in my leg, you are only collecting me insofar as you're collecting these fragments as well. It makes my personality not feel very important, my individuality, and my utility as a fragment is only what's important to you as well. Again, I feel used, and I don't really want to go along with you. Again, betrayed as well. Everybody else knew all these things behind my back and didn't tell me. Again, that's what prompts all this exposition here. To come forth. Again, Kokona projecting those feelings that probably she wants to say to Yayaka more than anything, right? Onto Paprika as well. Like, you made a fool of me, right? It was all a means to an end for you. You wanted to access pure illusion. I never wanted to go on these adventures. You forced me to. Again, Paprika just loves to bury the lead. Again, she continues to say here, she's my partner and my precious friend. Well, that's what I am to you, so I continue to feel betrayed. Again, you should just lead with, Mimi's your mother. I'm actually 45 years old. Like, something like that. I don't know, blow her mind. Say something stupid. So again, we've been through it. This isn't Yayaka. This now makes sense. Thank you, everybody, for playing along. So here's the sad part, right? These kids get chosen. They get taken to Mimi's room. they probably aren't compatible, and then the kids are probably disposed of, right? That's why they don't come back. Like, I don't think this is the kind of organization to release the kids from their imprisonment after a certain period. I think it's the type to kill the kids. Well, maybe not yet, actually. Is it after the guy goes insane that they start killing random kids? I don't know. Who's to say? Either way, she's candid at 45, so that implies that this has happened a number of times prior to this point. So keep an eye on this room and the color in the room, right? It's this kind of whitish, pinkish hue. This is her imprisoned. This is a visual representation of her being imprisoned. So when we get to the scene later on, where it's like she starts in that room with the apple, touches the apple, and then the walls fall apart, it's like a certain part of her personality is being freed for the first time in a long time. This visual is her prison, so to say. And again, that kind of lack of color, the only thing in the room that has color is also entrapped. You know what I mean? It's a pretty good visual representation for somebody that's, you know, being well controlled. So Mimi is like the golden goose. She's the only one that can go to pure illusion. That's why we're keeping her on lock and key. But we see that kind of the impotence, right? That kind of connection between the two and how strong that is a very, very important factor here. That's why we need to pair her with another that can help her even further, right? I do like how Papaka's just the same. She still has that stupid catchphrase whenever she walks into a room. I just think that's neat. That's endearing. Specifically, Papaka still has the smell thing going on as well. She likes the smell of Mimi. She thinks she smells nice and wants to be, you know, with her because of that. We also have implied origins of Papaka's name. Papikana is too difficult for you, so you would prefer Papaka, so I'll be Papaka for you. Again, you're very receptive here to making a friend. Now, do we want to talk about why she sleeps naked in a ball pit in like an oil drum? I don't know. I guess it's to build contrast between her and Mimi, right? Where you're, you know, cramped and it's a less luxurious space, but it's more creative, right? We've got a circle shape as opposed to a kind of rectangular design, that very angular, which is Mimi's room. I guess that's what we're trying to say here. Sans all the naked stuff, I don't know what that's about. That's why, again, you escape into the vents, too. This kind of metaphor for escape, right? Like, I'm escaping my prison cell, the same thing that I want to ultimately do with Mimi eventually, right? Papaka then meets up with Salt, and we're introduced to this. Well, it's pretty obvious that it was Salt from the start, but we get that reveal here. And he's wearing a coat that's too big for him, something that comes back with a conversation with Mimi a little bit later on. And again, you have the hots for her. You basically just think she's cute and want to talk to her and stuff. So fair enough. So again, both are united in the perspective that they want to go talk with Mimi. You have the power to actually make it happen because you're the chief's son. Therefore, hey, let's go out and have a little picnic with Mimi. Mimi's prison right now is kind of personified by artificiality as well, right? There's artificial plants, right? There's a painting of a plant, and there's artificial, you know, outside light, and there's an artificial little water tank over here. I have no concept in my entire life almost of real flowers and real lakes and real water. Again, once you discover that and want to continue to discover that, you discover your passion, and again, this will make up the large part of your powers, the flowers, right? But again, almost these emotions taken to the nth degree and becoming overbearing by the very end, to the point where you've overtaken and overgrown even Kokona herself. But again, this only gets warped and twisted as it does because of, you know, the circumstances there within, her wanting to be protective of her daughter, right? I don't want her to end up in captivity how I'm in captivity, right? So I'm going to do everything in my power to save her. But thus, ironically, putting her into a different sort of captivity. So again, the dialogue from the scientists here imply that there's no change in impotence between the two, basically, right? There's nothing that would indicate that we're starting to progress with our pure illusion research. Therefore, should we move on to the next candidate? You decide to stick it out a little bit more, maybe let her, you know, spread her wings and go outside, and maybe that'll result in some stuff. Oh no, specifically here, he says that we're going to start preparations to get a new kid in, but like, that's when we break her out and do this. This results in, you know, oh, we're actually doing it. You know, as it turns out, letting her experience things for real will result in a better result, maybe. I don't know. Salt is the one that actually got them to, you know, be allowed to be out as well. It's not like they're escaping right now. They're just on lock and key, basically, right? You guys can chill outside for a bit. I don't care. We'll just make sure that you're well guarded. I guess you could say the lingering carrot setup is here now as well, right? This kind of thing where, oh, Mimi loves carrots, so why don't you like carrots? They're your favorite food. And again, confusing Mimi's daughter for Mimi, it now makes a lot of sense when you're all foggy about it, I guess. But again, this is also a microcosm of the major theme of the rest of the show, I would say. Yeah, again, I like carrots. She doesn't like carrots. So you're going to force her to fucking eat carrots every day? When she doesn't like it? Just because you liked it? Again, you're imposing your will upon another. Despite it being your daughter, despite you thinking you're protecting her, you're not, right? See what we're doing here? Salt makes her a little flower tiara thing as well, helps her feel all special and stuff, like the queen of the world or whatever. Like a little princess. Again, because Salt has the hots for her, basically. So again, because you two showed me your, special place, your world, and so to speak, I'm going to show you mine. And again, she's finally happy enough to show off her powers here. We finally get that first indicator of pure illusion. It turns out Papika's a good candidate after all. So again, you're burying the lead too much, Papika. Again, she took me to pure illusion. It was amazing. Mimi this, Mimi that. You're just making her feel worse. Again, we've gone through it. So again, you were just using me as a Mimi replacement. I don't want to be seen as that. What does that side of Mimi want to do to you? Merely make you a replacement Mimi. She literally makes you copy her character design. It's very funny. Again, you insist that I like her for her. I like you for you. That kind of stuff. It's separate. But again, you're not in the headspace to believe that kind of stuff. Again, I fucking hate everybody because of that, and I'm going to run away, basically. I actually really love this shot as kind of a demonstration of that. Just this pretty simple pan, right? Where it's like, oh shit, we're just going to keep the camera stationary and show one character rushing off. And again, Salt here, very hard on his sleeve. Just make sure that Papika and Kokona both escape before he abandons the base, right? He wants to be here to be a good dad, good stepdad from the fucking shadows, and make sure that she gets out okay. Kokona now makes her way back home, but this is her biggest mistake yet, because look at how scary Grandma looks. You're scary looking. So much of her morning routine at the house has been associated with that kind of robotic scheduling as well. Those similar shots of the watch and the skirt and the walking down out of the house and the line there, and that being repeated. It's it just indicates that this house itself isn't the place that's going to respect that kind of creative side of her personality, right? It represents the other side, so to say. And again, that comes to the fore here when you walk out and see that you're surrounded by robots. Oh no. And look at Grandma fucking standing up. This shit's crazy. That's scary as fuck. Again, I think it's the lighting as well, doing a lot of the heavy lifting here too. Oh, this is probably the best creative sequence too, where you kind of get seized and start to like fall apart. Again, this is the third time today, even more maybe, that you've been betrayed by somebody close to you and it wasn't what you thought. And again, this being the visual representation of that spiral happening, and again, this power activating is pretty good. Again, the detail dropping out of the world which I once knew is turning into nothingness, right? She's having a breakdown essentially, and this is the visual for it. Again, even stuff like depth perception and perception of reality even is falling apart for her. And again, it continues to fall apart before hitting that pure blackness, and then the amorphous shining, Mimi's voice rising through and protecting her. All the amorphous are resonating as one. Basically, Kokona got stressed enough to the point where Mimi is going to be revived, so to say, right? All the fragments represent her, so they're all rushing out to basically charge her up. Even all these fragments here, the fragments that were salts in his bag, right? They all rush in, causing you to explode and explode everybody around you. And this last shot here is really awesome. I didn't notice she was levitating for the longest time as well, right? Where again, it's like this, dual personality symbiosis thing going on right now in her head. Mum will now protect you. You see the reverse shot here. Mimi has taken over the body. Look at that. Thanks, Mum. Again, no thanks, Mum, because also just let me live. I don't know. In episode 11 now, we find Yuke's skill here, and no Kokona to be seen. She's rushed off somewhere else. We'll see her very, very shortly. I hope the rabbit is chilling with Papika by the very end. I guess I'll keep an eye on it. So it's implied here that you've rushed over to this and absorbed all the energy here too, right? And again, they're kind of letting this happen. They think that they still can control Mimi, right? But they can't. They clearly can't. Again, this is their folly. They can't control this power. They thought they could control, imagination as a concept broadly, and they can't. So they're getting their just desserts because of that. Again, it's lucky enough that he's wearing this kind of stuff, right? Because, like if he wasn't, then I'll just realize that you were the guy that took my baby, and you would be dead instantly. Instead, he just dies later on. So again, they think this is the day of like splendor, that all of our efforts have come to the fore and we can now begin to seize the entire world. But instead, you know, she's way stronger than you and she's gonna crash out and kill you all. You want to take my Kokona away again? This is like the preemptive revenge for what we see at the end of the episode with them taking the baby. Of course, we must shout out the power here, as well as the animation, which is slick as, involving the flowers, right? This is like, this representation of freedom and my personal freedom from my shell before is now being used as my primary attacking force against you, right? I am stronger than the power that you could contain, right? Again, the folly. You thought you could control me, you can't. I am imagination. No one will control her but me. Do you not realize what you're saying? It's antithetical to the whole freedom idea. Anyway, we'll get into it. Things have gone from bad to worse here as we see that the whole organization is even collapsing here around them. And the third child here, they're shouting the third child out like, hey, they're going to do something. Where's the third child? Where's the third child? The third child just fucks around with this robot for a bit. I don't know. What is the brain goo? Why does the robot look at the young girl and then gets brain goo, like, seeping out there? Explain yourself. And then I think that she just becomes enamored with that and follows the robot around. So she's not the great savior either. Again, this guy finally gets at least some of his just desserts. You thought that you could control this power and fuse imagination with reality and use that to bend it to your will and all that kind of stuff. No, it doesn't exist for you. It exists for Kokona. I'm gonna kill you with flowers. We notice that, what's his, Tutu is his name? Something like that. His head's starting to bleed from the wound from before. We try to call in backup or assistance or whatever. Nobody responds. It seems like our base has been compromised in this process. The other two have escaped. They're on the ladder. Salt has seen what's going on and he realizes that Mimi is upon us and he's left them. You guys go off, I'm off to do something else. We'll see him meet up with Mimi later on. I do like that their escape route from this place is a Thomason in of itself, a door that kind of leads to nowhere. I think that's just very well done. Again, this crew, this collective, broadly representing a little bit more of the artistic aspect, I would say, of this whole shebang. Either way, they get ambushed by Lolly with a gun over here. There is a particularly uncomfortable shot here, which is a big no-no. This character is like 12? Less? Yeah, no, don't put the camera there. Bad show. Bad. We don't like that. Yeah, that's as bad as it's gotten, I think, on the channel even. Yeah, no thank you. Not for me. More for you guys, not for me. You guys have it. I don't want it. But again, she's just like pointing the gun around. I don't even know what this character's doing. Because then again, it seems like, okay, you're gonna now fight her. But then I think circumstances change and then it's like, oh fuck, the world's ending, we better be all on the same side. Her name is also Youyou, which I think makes a pun with, like, there's some other word there. It's like it's in that little sentence there also says new, so it's very confusing. We then pan over to Salt. Salt is meeting with Mimi in the body of Kokona. And yeah, she's essentially guilt-tripping him, right? I have to protect her now. I have to take over her body because you couldn't be man enough back in the day to stand up for me and what we wanted and that kind of stuff, right? Not until it was too late anyway. So again, you didn't do a good enough job protecting her, so now I have to feel like I have to use the nuclear solution, so to say. So again, if we want to push the blame backwards off of Mimi, which I kind of do, onto her circumstances forcing her into this way, then again, the real villain of this story is wanting to possess imagination, that leading to mania, and then that affecting the people below him. And also Salt not being able to escape his family ties. Ironically, now Kokona can't escape hers as a result. You know what I mean? Like, Salt was too subservient to his father and his wishes, right? Now Kokona, as a result, by force, is too subservient to her own mother's. See how that makes sense? Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying here too. I don't understand how your way to make amends here is to shoot both your wife and your daughter at the same time. That doesn't make much sense to me, but, you know, I guess you just want the nightmare to end. You don't want to see Mimi anymore, you don't want any of this shit to happen, you just want to switch it all off. Which again, I don't think is the best tact. But again, he talks a big game. He has the gun pressed against her head. he still can't pull the trigger. Again, Salt has grown up somewhat. He's fitting into the lab coat now, which is cool. It's shorthand for the writers to say that the characters have grown up and now fancy each other, right? You don't look at somebody and say, your clothes fit you very well, if you're not kind of into them. Which again, I didn't even know that straight characters could exist in this universe, so that's kind of crazy. So again, she's still under lock and key, but is allowed to flirt with her boyfriend now and stuff. Salt has been promoted, so to say. He's now going to be in the rooms doing the experiments on Kokona and Paprika and stuff. I keep saying Kokona, it's Mimi. Oh my god, I'm mixing them up. So this is how they used to do pure illusion? Seems pretty fucked up, no? Specifically here we have the Elpis. So the Elpis places a person inside of it and you dive into their specific pure illusion, right? So that's something that's been pretty well set up by the show, that these pure illusions are associated with certain people. Just think about Iroha's for that example, and that'll become very, very relevant here. So before that, we would randomly enter pure illusion. Now we're entering specific people's pure illusions, right? And again, this is further steps upon the research, right? So again, we've seen this process already play out, and I think this is pretty smart and pretty subtle. So we see the red portal here, right? And we instantly recognize what this is, right? You go into this portal and you change something fundamentally about another person. That's the deepest point of the pure illusion, and the most dangerous part as well. Again, I think this is broadly set up for this to come back at some point during the finale too. We're going to dive even deeper into Kokona, maybe, something like that. I also like Scientist Dad, his like pure illusion is like, it's like, what's the word for bug research? It has a word. It's like he's an entomologist. There we go. Yeah, it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type areas. It's good. But again, my point being, the show has already expressed this through Iroha, that you can do irreversible damage to people through this. You can change their personality fundamentally without even knowing it. It's an ironic twist that Kokona did that some, 18 years later or whatever, right? Like, it's like poetry, it rhymes, it's good writing, I think. And yeah, in episode 7, that making Kokona not want to connect with anybody as a result, maybe let Reigns go over to another person to, do this kind of thing, seeking her own isolation at that point, almost imprisoning herself, much like her mother was imprisoned back in the day. I think that's pretty clever. Again, that's nice. That's stuff I didn't realize in the moment. So again, now Dad's crazy. He's got the crazy eyes going on, and this is what I'm talking about. This is how we know it's the guy in the kind of white hood from earlier, right? Like, just makes sense. They got crazy eyes. And again, this is the beginning of the end. This is when the guy in charge starts to essentially go insane and force them into bad stuff. And again, the two of you feel somewhat responsible for that, especially Mimi in this regard. I've permanently hurt somebody that I quite like, right, in Salt, where again, prompting them that, hey, we now want to leave, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Actually, now knowing what happens as well, seeing this shot here of you kind of almost holding your abdomen there as you kind of want to talk with Paprika about something. Again, you're preggers. You're preggers as... Preggers is an inherently disgusting word, I apologize. So again, whenever you see that kind of childbirth motif and that kind of thing, right, it's about creation. It's about creation of another life, another pure illusion in of itself. Again, it's and you wanting freedom for that child, you wanting better for them as opposed to you, it just makes perfect sense. It's good. And again, Salt here starts kind of guilt-tripping them, right? You guys are just going to leave after what you did to my dad. Salt, how can you say that? No, I'm the one that's making him suffer. You didn't mean to, though. I don't know. It's a bad situation. Still, Salt, I need you. Why don't you come with us? This is Salt's folly. This is his mistake, which is staying behind to take over the father's work and staying with the kind of organization as opposed to escaping with his pregnant girlfriend. But again, they don't explain this, so how is he meant to know? Again, it's a communication issue. What are we doing here? And just as that kind of sun sets, the sun sets on that like relationship ever being real beyond that point as well. Pretty clever. And again, we now say goodbye, leading us to this situation a little bit later on as well, where they've captured 33. We can finally begin resuming our experiments. It's been one long year. So there's been a whole year here where, again, they've been on the run and they've been, fugitives. You guys have been looking for them. You've been racked with guilt the entire time, but feel like you need to stay there because of your father. Paprika's fighting back. She even gets a little fucking ankle bracelet like a real prisoner, which again has been something that stayed on her character design the entire time. That kind of answers that question. And I like the swap of honorifics here. They start calling her Mimi-sama, right? She's being elevated to godlike status. Again, what is the folly of humans? I keep using that word folly a lot today. It is trying to control gods. It's trying to control things that are outside of your control, right? Again, leading to just desserts. And yeah, we get the reveal here that, hey, there's a kid. It's Kokona. Hello, Kokona. And that's when you put everything together, that you've been such an idiot this entire time. That's my daughter. Oh, shit. But it's too little too late. Salt starts to make his, like, heroic movements, so to say. Goes and captures Paprika, or releases Paprika, I guess I should say, and goes to try and save the day. We're breaking him out, we're breaking the four of us out finally with Salt's help, but ultimately it's too little too late. This little ankle bracelet for Paprika almost like magnetizes to the floor here to when she can escape. Oh yeah, and this is the drama, right? The two of you should just run away, but no, I don't want us to be separated again, me and you, Paprika. Oh shit. This is like a love triangle, right? You don't give a fuck about Salt. Salt's like the, he's just the fucking semen donor. You guys don't give a fuck. That's funny. Anyway, no, enough fan theories. Let's get out of here. And yeah, how do you think you're the good guy when you're like stealing the baby away from Mimi, and you think that that's like a good thing? And I don't know, man. Villain's gonna villain, I guess. You have to stay here forever, you have to remain imprisoned, and because I think this baby is your major motivator for wanting to leave, again, you were pregnant back in the day, that's why you wanted to leave, that's how they see it anyway, and now you have this baby, you want to leave again? Well, we gotta get rid of the baby, because Dad's gone insane. And again, this is going to be punishment as well. He's literally off to like kill this baby. And this results here in Mimi activating a different part of her personality, right? And yeah, this is an extremely effective sequence, probably my favorite out of the 2 episodes, right? So you now respawn in your own like mind palace, right? Which now it escapes its own, you know, metaphorical prison. So again, there's a sky there. There didn't used to be a sky in my kind of room where I was imprisoned before, right? There used to be a roof containing me. Now it doesn't, right? In that same way, touching that apple, that representation of creation, that representation of childbirth as well, right? But also of original sin, of temptation, so to say, right? So it's multi-layered here. It's very, very good. Touching the apple here is like, I want to save my daughter, right? Because the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. See what I say there, right? But in that same way, it's also taking on that biblical interpretation. It's taking on the, oh, I shouldn't have done this. I went too far. I overexerted, right? Where I shouldn't have. Again, tying that into the godlike motif as well around you, Mimi-sama. I think that's all just very, very good. And again, upon touching that, a whole new world of power activating to me as well. A world by which the whole entire facility that used to contain me is now covered in greenery, right? Look at this, representation of freedom, you know? Isn't this a wonderful world? Wouldn't I want to live in a world like this? And again, we get that kind of devilish kind of voice on the shoulder. Again, same as the touching of the apple. This is that kind of snake in the tree, that temptation, you know? Don't you want to protect Kokona? Well, I do. I'm her mother. Of course I want to protect her. And the shadowy kind of alternate personality starts to take root here. You need to protect her. Every mother needs to protect their daughter. I'll protect her for you. So, switch with me. Switch with this other version and I'll make everything okay. So again, from here, this power starts to activate all the fucking red tentacles and whatever, where again, it's become a sole focus now on protecting my daughter. I don't need anything else. I disregard Paprika. I disregard Salt. I disregard even my daughter's opinions in all of this. I'm just going to protect her. From there, I think the implication here is that now you're going to turn yourself into the fragments and also place a fragment of yourself within Kokona, where again she apologizes and still goes through with it regardless, but Paprika also jumps in here right at the last moment, whereby I'm thinking something happens to Paprika there, which explains the aging situation. Salt here continues to argue, you made the wrong choice, the real Mimi wouldn't have wanted to do this, blah 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 blah, but really this is just, you're projecting your insecurities at not being able to save her back in the day, right? Again, it is true that a different part of Mimi has taken control, but like, you're still just coping, I think, a little bit. Where again, you've set up this elaborate trap for her, so to say, but you can't go through with the actual assassination here either, because you still love the both of them too much. I am Mimi. Just like with your father, people contain multitudes, as does pure illusion. So again, this is just a different side of Kokona, right? Or on a different side of Mimi, I should say, right? This is what's below her everything, right? This is what's through her proverbial red door, that portal, right? And you only ever really see one side of somebody. You didn't really see this side of me. It still existed. I just hid it from you. As such, Salt is the same. He outwardly projects this person that doesn't care, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Deep down, he cares deeply. To to the point where she tests that and he can't go through with it, right? Papaka then jumps in between them. Get away from her, Papikana. Don't use my full government name. And again, she starts to take control from here, that being Mimi. Specifically here again, testing him. Hey, shoot him in the head. If you got the guts, pull the trigger. Again, this is that same thing. Testing Salt's resolve to do what needs to be done, right? Just like back in the day, you're still that scared boy, right? The one that didn't leave with us back in the day, that still had that attachment to your father. In that same way, you talk a big game, but you're ultimately still too attached to your family to do what needs to be done in this situation. And her putting that to test again is fucking badass. That's actually cool. I think this whole sequence here is potentially a little bit over-edited. The music's blaring like crazy, and there's disparate visuals here for everything. I think the implication here is that one fragment was left from the whole Mimi debacle back in the day where they were stealing the kid, where again now you say goodbye to Salt. I don't need you anymore. There's that single tear and the kind of colors within it, where again we dispose of Salt very quickly. He's actually not dead, which is funny. I thought this was like raining blood in the reaction, which would have been mental. Either way, Papaka's the only one that remains. Wait, where's Kokona? What are you doing with her? She'll always be within me. We'll be happy together forever. You try to, help the real Kokona escape and all that kind of stuff. Where again, the real thing we're testing here is Papaka's resolve, right? We're testing if Papaka means what she says when she says, I like you for you. If you can't choose who you want to save, the Mimi from the olden days or the Kokona from the now, then you don't have the resolve by which to save either of us, right? You got to choose. And again, just letting Kokona like back through for that minute, right? I hate you if you can't make that decision. I hate you if you don't respect my individual decisions in all of this. So yeah, we leave Papaka in the dirt. We escape into Pure Illusion, where we now finally meet face to face, mum and daughter. You can stop being an illusion in of yourself, right? And you can actually just face to face show me who you are. There's no more secrets here. And again, that's a fun use of the optical illusion, which has mainly represented this concept in the past in these boat rides. I think that's pretty cute. And again, Kokona's just happy initially. I just wanted a mum. I wanted somebody to bounce ideas off of and talk to about things, and a real guardian, not like my robo-nan. Again, you craved guardianship. That's fair enough. Again, especially for a teenager. Very, very important. And again, she's finally getting it, but maybe you're just a little bit too obsessive as well as a result. You don't have to worry anymore. I'll do everything for you. Now see, this is the same thing that was framed as bad in the start of the show. Don't let somebody make these decisions for you. Don't be a yayaka, right? Don't not ask questions and just simply seek a place where you belong, right? Where you feel safe. Ask questions. Be your own person about it. Change your mind. All these kind of things. Again, this is bad and should be changed. We get this nice low point for Papaka here as well, as she's kind of abandoned in the lake all alone. She doesn't have that friend anymore, neither does she have the motivation to do anything. Again, my best friend hates me. That's fucking awful. My wife hates me. One of them hates me. See, look how wonderful and creative this world is. Isn't this wonderful? But again, this isn't a world that I've made for myself. My world that I make for myself is cold. It's like snow. I saw it before in the first episode. Again, my thing is that I have short hair. I'm kind of... where you're associated with a long, flowing, artsy look, I guess I would say, right? A little bit more earthy and less controlled. I'm not. That's not my personality, therefore my haircut isn't that. She wouldn't look right with longer hair. Again, the same thing, I wear a uniform, you wear this kind of frilly, artsy dress, right? I'm a uniform person. That's who I am. That's part of my personality, right? It doesn't have to be all of my personality, but it is part of it. And you taking over that and you trying to like recreate her in your own image isn't good either. Again, this just doesn't look right, Don't make me look this way. My friends will make fun of me. Then they don't deserve you. Just be here with mum. It'll be fine. I'll make you new friends. I'll make you a new reality. She takes her all the way back to that first episode once again. Don't worry about anything. I'll create any world you want, and I'll then project that world onto the rest of the world as well. So again, do you like this place? Well, let's stay here. The implication would be that you do like this place because it's your world. It's the first one we saw, right? And again, she gives some affirmation there that this is the world she wants, and mum goes kind of crazy and starts implementing that world everywhere. Everyone's eyes glaze over in a weird way too, to the point where I think that everybody's going to be like basically mind controlled to love and be friends with Kokona, right? We're going to see something like that. So again, how do we get from you pointing a gun and like fighting with Yayaka to you just like, oh, let's look at the fucking this thing, I guess. And like the robots chill now too. How did we get here is my point. It's just very funny. I think you're stupid. I think you're stupid because you're also Paprika. Makes sense? Makes sense. I do like Salt here as well. Salt needs to admit to himself that he's not the most important person to neither Mimi nor Kokona. So I need to send in 2 different people to do my job for me. I can't convince anybody. I'm too jaded and whatever. They're way too important. Paprika and Mimi are way more into each other than they're into me, which is funny. So now here we have punished Yayaka. She's going to take Paprika with her, and we're going to go on our merry quest to go save Kokona from the clutches of Mimi. Is that why her name's Mimi as well? Because it's like me? Is that any? I don't know. Maybe there's another pun there. Again, we get that special ED treatment here as well. We have Salt down in like full Giza trying to like begging her to do anything about this because I can't. Let's do the scene first and then maybe go back and do the song. Kind of the opposite order I normally do things, but anyway. Either way, she's asking if you want to go save Kokona. Now, you better listen. I'm going to go save her. I don't care if I have to fight her mother or her whole damn family. I'll save her because she's my friend. This is great. You're finally admitting to yourself that that whole relationship wasn't just a farce or a means to an end, right? It's actually real. And the same way that your emotions with Kokona are also real. As much as she claims that they're all fake and that you liked Mimi instead, I still have strong feelings for Kokona. I still have strong feelings. Again, this is great. This is the 2 uniting on their love for Kokona and that being able to generate a portal to Pure Illusion. This guy here also gets his just desserts once again as he touches Pure Illusion and gets fucking eviscerated, which is pretty based. We can't keep running away forever. You're right. If this keeps up, the world will be in danger. To hell with the world. I don't want to hear this out of character crap from you. I want to hear what you really think, Paprika. I want to save Kokona because I love her as a friend. Well said. Well, let's go do this thing, right? No trial runs, okay? Makes me all very excited and wanting to see this conclusion as of next week. Yeah, off into the portal. And into that preview for next week as well. Let's do this song quickly, which I think is pretty good. It builds up to a moment quite well. If I throw this love away, just as it begins to wane, ooh, very romantic. Nobody will have to hurt. I won't have to hurt anybody anymore. But my heart lingers. I imagine this meeting was fate. Oh my god, they love each other so much. All I wanted to do was run with you. What I couldn't see was my weakness. Oh my god. So true. Let's go find it somewhere deeper together. I don't need a reason anymore. The reason is love. I'll ride the colorful wind and fly off towards your voice. Ooh, colorful's great. It's a great word for flip-flappers in general. Shine fragments and ward off the night. Oh my god. I swear I will find you and make our 2 hearts one. This is the most romantic song ever written. And yeah, again, off into the portal. And off into next week's episodes. Now listen, I still hold my misgivings, but going back through there and re-examining opened up a bunch of different things I didn't consider, which was great. Again, I don't know how you spread it out more, how you spread out information reveal more, but you need to, I think, on some level. It just makes the episodes themselves a little bit on the tedious side. And yeah, watch more shows than just Evangelion, damn it, because that's very Evangelion. Anyway, we're going to leave it. They're good. They're good episodes. I think the show's doing what it should. And I think the ultimate concept we're getting to and how that brings the show thematically overall together has been quite good overall. So again, all that's really left is to stick the landing, and for that I'll see you next week. If you're watching this publicly, you can access the Patreon and see that one straight away if you want to. Discord if you want to talk to me about the show on any level. Like the video, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Maybe some show suggestions for what to do next as well. I don't really know what I'm going to do there yet, so get those in whenever you can. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Goodbye. See you later.